a humidor, but it is a case that you can put your small mementos in. It's actually a Rockford Police flat badge. Deputy Chief retired, Deputy Chief Theo Glover, March 9th, 1987 through July 1st of 2011. Put all your treasures, we know they're in your heart, but all those things that aren't in your heart, you can put in your box. Congratulations. On behalf of the Rockford Police Department Chief of Police, I want to congratulate you on 24 years of exceptional service, and I'm honored to give you your retirement badge. And I know you're not going to be retired, but it's a memento from us to you. Thank you.
First things first, just in case I don't make it through everything. I'm very humbled to be able to have been a part of such a fantastic organization as the Rockford Police Department. 24 years ago, I should say, I had an opportunity to come aboard and be a part of this, and I received a letter from a person that later became a really good friend of mine, to the point I could never pronounce his last name, Gouza, but I called him the Goog Man. So we always referred to Louis as the Goog Man, and to know Louis is to love Louis, and we've had a relationship from that time to now, and he's one of the best people that I know today. So Goog, I thank you for coming here. Thank you for realizing that I could be a part of this and helping me along the way. So I thank you very much for that. And I guess I need to go back. I'm sure some of you read about my being reared in Alabama and what I could and couldn't do, and so those things are very true. And you know, we wonder today about kids being out and after curfew, and only the street light popped on, and I had to be in the yard. And if I wasn't in the yard, there was no excuse that I could offer. You know, I knew exactly what the consequence was. So 95% of the time I was in the yard when that street light was on. The other 5, I know why I should be there, the 95. So my grandmother was an intricate part of my life, and my mom moved here, and I lived with her for a short period of time, and things were going on, and you know, there was civil rights movement was going on in Birmingham. A lot of things were really bad in those days, but I was able to get through those days and really understand why things were the way that they were. And I never saw a person as a different color. I saw him, you know, that's my brother. You know, I'm just as good as you are. You're just as good as I am. And that's the way I live my life, and that's the way it was imparted to me from my mom on down to my grandmother. So I kept that, and that's the way I feel today. I feel about all of you. You're my brothers. And anything that I can ever do for any one of you, I'm here for you. So I thank my grandmother, I thank my mom and dad for what they've done for me to make me who I am today. I thank my kids and my wife who puts up with me. I think that as a husband, being a part of the Rockford Police Department, when you disappoint your wife and they refer to it as that job, I think that you have arrived. So a lot of times she wanted to go places. I've been home, I'm tired, I don't want to go in a place, but she would refer to that job. Well, she's right, that job, you know, I was passionate about the job. And I just try to do my best for all the citizens and for all the people who look up to me. I wanted to be able to not let them down. So that job was an intricate part of that. And a question was asked of me, what are you most proud of? And my answer was to be called Dad. You know. So to be called dad is okay. The problem begins is what after, when they say dad, what comes after that? That's where the problem begins. So I love my role as dad, and now I've even made it to be called Papa. And I'm referred to by my grandkids in Georgia as Papa the police. That means a great deal to me. Family means a great deal to me. Greg came up and he spoke from his heart. Greg and I have known each other for several years, even before Rockford Police. He's always been there. He's been a great friend. His family has always been there for me. Matter of fact, I call his mom and dad Big Mama and Big Papa. Back there. And Big Mama's always offered advice, and I've listened too, just so you know. So Greg is always been there for me, and I always appreciate everything that he's done. And Greg and his lovely wife Cheryl, who's over here, I love you, and we'll continue to forge that relationship ahead. Through this department, I've come up through this department not without some ups and downs, but I was able to get through a lot of the bad times because of you guys. We all pull together in tragedy. We all pull together when things are going on in the street, and ultimately we win. I mean, it's not easy being a police officer. People sometimes will question how you do things and why you aren't doing certain things. They don't have the knowledge as to what goes on in a police department. That's why I'm happy that Chief Epperson has opened up and invited in the Citizens Police Academy so they can understand now what we have to go through. And I thank all of those people who have gone through those academies, because now they're an advocate for us out in the street. And before I go, I'd like to thank Mayor Morrissey. I'd like to thank Jim for availing yourselves to come out and say nice things about me that you did. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys' leadership. And I know that I know that we have hard times ahead, but I'm confident that we'll get through the hard times under you guys' leadership. Chief Epperson, I'm very proud that you allowed me to be a member of your command staff. I appreciated that. I appreciate your initiatives. You do different things than I was used to, so I had to understand some of those things that you were undertaking. And so I look forward to this department continuing to thrive. And I'm not going to be far away, just upstairs. And I think you tried to get my keypads. It's not working now. Just so you know, all of the members of the DB, I think the world of you guys. You know that I've always tried to impart wisdom on you guys, and you're the number one. This department to me is number one, second to none. And when you get a case, you guys work tirelessly to come up with a resolution, and that's indicative of the person that's in charge of you guys, Chief Lindmark. We know when there's a murder, you might as well prepare yourself for the long run, because you know we aren't going home as long as there's a lead that we can follow, and that's old school. So that's the old school that Greg still has in him. So I've spent several hours down here without getting any sleep. But we made progress and made progress. So I thank you all for the things that you gave me. I appreciate you all, and I'm still going to be there. For the patrol officers that came, the investigators, I just implore on you to continue to do the job that you do out there, and be the best person that you can be when you encounter the citizens of Rockford out there. They're depending on you. You have to see them at the worst of times. So keep that in mind, that they may be acting out of character, and you still have to control the situation, but just keep that in mind when you're dealing with them, and we can lessen some of the complaints that I've had to feel. So, in closing, the thing that was affected me the most was a close friend of mine. They tell you when you come on the department, do not get involved, do not have close friends, because there's a potential that something may happen. Boy, it did.